Hello, good people. Welcome to your favorite show, Time with Hammer. Um, as usual, my people, they are here. They are seated. Growing up, I learned something from my parents that a man has to take care of a woman in every relationship. Even in the Bible, God says, go out there and hustle after they ate the apple. Woman, go out there and produce. Here's a case, new generation, our new world, men are always looking for a career woman to settle with. Is it that they are scared of responsibilities? Is it that they are not ready to take full charge? Is it that the new woman wants to be like a man and sometimes also initiate those kind of gestures? So it's like, okay, let them also provide. I'm here with SHALLIE. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Looking good.
Thank you.
Hey, international.
Hey.
Yeah. LARTEY, the best comedian in town. Very soon he will start his own show. Politically, he's into politics. Though sometimes I see certain posts on his page and I'm like, this guy, trouble will come one day. Now, everybody has his own upbringing. The things they see when they were young, how they saw their parents living together, whether it's single parenting or your mom or your dad live under the same roof and, brought you up. Same comment goes to you. Would you take somebody, somebody, in quote,
a woman, yeah,
who is jobless? Would you take her as like, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life, I'll settle you with this and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You're not ready to take charge as a man.
Yeah.
Because I'm interested in this topic. If you compare our way of relationship here in Africa and abroad, there's always a fight because the responsibilities are shared.
Yeah.
50-50 or 60-40.
Outside Ghana.
Yes.
Yeah.
So sometimes when a man wants to act like a man, which most men try sometimes to be the man, it's like, hey, sit down. We are sharing responsibilities. I should sit down.
Yeah.
Would you do that?
Where? In Ghana or outside Ghana? No, I'm in Ghana. In Ghana, why would I do what?
No, in the world. Now.
In the world.
Wherever you find yourself.
Well, this question has no direct, straight yes or no answer. It depends on who the guy is and where he's coming from, his economic standing as at the time that he's speaking. Even his age should matter. And who the girl is, jobless or not. Why is she jobless? Jobless, in the minds of people, has a negative connotation. It's like someone who has no job and no money. Some people have no job. You can categorize them as jobless, but they inherited some riches that no jobber man will ever get. So it all depends. But I understand that someone who has no income, who is not earning an income, not a working woman. So if you are in your late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, early 40s, and you are about settling down to marry, why would a young man who has no inheritance, like most Africans, one funny thing about Africa, when you are growing up, you never knew your parents are poor until you grow up more. Yeah, somewhere in your 20, 25, 20,
every child
30, then you realize that, because in Africa, every child is that the parents, especially the father, is rich. Meanwhile, there's nothing like rich in Africa, no matter the resources that we have. So,
why few rich men?
Few, very few. And even that kind of riches, if you compare it to, because this show is big.
Okay, comfortable man.
Fine, comfortable. Some people who earn something enough.
Man.
Yeah. So, other than that, any aspiring young man with no inheritance, parent has no job or company, or if like any organization that he could even come and work in, and you have to finish school, write applications to places, and go for interviews that will not be selected. Sometimes people go for about 10 interviews, and about the span of about 4 years before they get one call, and go for a job. Sometimes they know that you are a degree holder, you are HND holder, you are even a second degree holder, and they want to pay you like they pay SHS. Take it or leave it, and because you want it, you take it like that. And you have opportunity to marry or settle down with someone and say, oh, I love you, you look good, you are sumptuous, you are even white. So you are every black man's nemesis. So therefore, I'm down. Whether or not you work, I'm going to stay with you. That will not be economically wise. And that accounts for most of the problem that we have in Africa. Because poor people are marrying themselves and generating more poor children. And so it is not fightable. And unfortunately, politicians cannot address this. They even make us give birth freely in Africa. In other countries who have enough money for unborn generations, they pay more to give birth now. We poor people, few people who are so poor, we can't even have stable electricity for everybody, not enough good hygienic potable water for everybody. Food is in this. Come on, you live in bush and you have no food to eat and all that. We go to hospital and say you can give birth for free. So we have poor people, producing more children, and rich people producing less children. To me, it's not wise to say I love you and that's it. Furthermore, if a woman can bring something to the table, anything of value, it doesn't have to be cash, it doesn't have to be monthly income, but somebody could be, I don't know, for whatever reason, they could be so entrepreneurial in their own that even though they don't work, but your backyard, you could have your own plantains, you could have your own onions, you could have your own pepper, you could have...
So that they won't go to the market
to buy those stuff.
I'll come to you.
That is a woman that I would want to set.
Shallie, you've lived in Ghana for a while. I mean, some years.
Yes.
In and out.
Let's say 6 months.
6 months, but you came, you left.
Yeah.
You've seen our kind of people, the way they think. Have you realized that now men, they look at your profession, what you do?
No.
You have not realized that?
No, men don't care. Men care about your looks, how youthful is she, does she, even some men don't care about the intelligence of a woman. Because a lot of men, they like to control women because they want to be alpha. So I noticed that a lot of men don't care about these things.
All they're interested in is to take control or the looks of a woman, not the
value.
I never had a man ask me and walk up to me and be like, "Oh, what is your profession?" Well, and
maybe they won't ask you direct, but through your conversations, they will get to know that.
Probably because you're white, babe. White people are rich people. That's the assumption here. It's one not passing by. Wait. No. Yeah, we can't say why. It's one not passing by. And I say, bro, for one time. I mean,
you understand?
Say it again.
Yeah, one not passing by. And I say, bro, for one time. It's like if you have nothing to say, then you say white people have more clothes. Yeah, they make clothes. They make the machines that make clothes. They make the machines that make food. They make the machines that print money. So no African man in his right senses will look at you as you sit there and say, I have to find out whether you earn something or not before I propose to you. They want you the way you are, whether you work or not, because you're white.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, that's true. If you were to be black, not with a blonde hair like that, and not so able and not so beautiful, with a wider nose, bigger than what Michael Jackson used to have, you wouldn't have, the audacity of sitting at places that you sit these days. Why? Because you need to count yourself whether you can add value to the table or not. So I can understand it on their part. And in the Western world, that topic don't normally come in because for some 300 years, almost everyone is working. So it doesn't come in.
You'll get the job to
in our part, the few jobs are absorbed by men. It's a man's world in Africa. They own the companies. We used to own the lands. It's these days that some smart women have been buying lands. Even that one grand. Property. If you are going to buy, don't tell your husband. Buy first. Acquire the papers. And then the darling, it is sweetest. Oh yeah, if you tell him first, especially when he has not thought of it, he might. That is the alpha behavior.
It means you have
taught me. You want to be man in a relationship. I'm the man. I should be the one to worry about whether or not we should go for land. Why should you go for land? Why should you even buy it without telling me?
Properties.
Yeah. So that is our psyche. So in our part, that topic didn't used to be important. Those days, woman was not even supposed to go to school. The most important thing is she able to reproduce? That was all. Forget about beauty. Beauty has not been a standard for African man. Even though it counts. Because there are some women who are married. You ask yourself, why is this woman married and why is this woman married? Yeah, so that's it. So it's not beauty. But these days, if you want to marry, if you live in the city, I don't come from the city. I was born and bred in the village. My father and my mother are still in the village. My relatives are there. So I am here to struggle, to make money. And I am settling down, and I go to Konkoli, and I meet some girl there, and the girl is so nice. She has all the features of a beautiful African woman. Good behavior. She's always sweeping the floor. She earns nothing. She can't even buy her own food if she should come and live with me. That would not be a wise decision to say you want to settle with this. You can have your time, a week or two, and move on, fine. But if you want to settle down and say, this is my wife, you have to think of what she can bring on the table. It's very important. We have to cut down this poverty.
But I think men are more likely to take a woman that is not earning or is not bringing financial means to the table than the other way around.
It used to be that. That was the typical patriarchy.
That's what I said, the new generation,
society.
the new trend. Men are looking at women who
are... There's a reason why.
Because, see, I have a couple of friends that are still single at a certain age that we believe they should settle by now.
Especially like me. He doesn't want to mention it, but I know. I look young, but I'm quite old, man.
But sorry to interrupt you, but I think men here, then at least if you say that's what the new generation wants. But when it comes down to it, if a woman is making her own money and she is a career woman who puts her career first, because that's what I call a career woman. I don't call someone who has a regular job, I don't call that a career woman. It's someone, an alpha female who can provide for herself, who can provide for her family. I don't think that's what men want. Maybe they think that's what they want, but once they settle with a woman like that, it will be a clash, because why would a woman who is providing for herself and who can do everything for herself, who's a career woman, and you know, she's not gonna shut up and sit down when a man says, like, sit down.
The reason why some even married men don't assist their partners to be successful, a woman to be successful,
so that you don't earn to my
so
level.
much for you to now challenge me when it comes to
certain
decisions, because you see, one of our topics, we were talking about some women thinks they can take care of their children, so
they don't need a man.
I think it's related.
It is. Currently, a lot of, I won't say 50, between 35 to 50 women who are in marital circumstances, who are earning something. They may not necessarily be career women, like the alpha woman who is the boss and self-carried, self-motivated and all. They are the regular women who are working, earning something, and they have, I mean, I'm 46, 47, I have 3 children already. I have a girl, I have a boy. In Europe, you don't care. Here, we care. This man is European. So, we care. They say, I'm lucky. God has blessed me with 1 daughter, 2 boys. Some say I have 2 daughters and then 1 boy. And so, I'm okay. And this man is not behaving the way I want him. They want to leave. Just that it is the other side of it. After leaving, this is what society will say, what they will think, what even your crop of people, church people, and most of us are religious. So, they stay like that. And they are not... They appear that they are together, but really they are not together. That's not the point. The point is this, Kofi. Even rich men don't like alpha women.
They won't.
Super rich
because they feel threatened by them.
Their character. You want to be your own child. That was a clash between Charles and Diana, in my estimation.
I think a lot of alpha women, when we speak about alpha women, they don't know how to be submissive.
No,
so
like Putin.
They like to take the lead. They like to have their own opinion. Same as me.
Like a female Putin.
Oh, female Putin. I thought it was like me. Like I'm not Putin. I'm not female Putin. But I get you.
No, but why is it so?
Because that's what alpha females are. You said career women, so they have been in a position like that for so long. Like they go after their career, like they basically.
It's like they're the boss in the offices.
They were carried that way.
They're hustling like men, basically. That's a career woman who, you know, like not all career women. I don't want to generalize, but I think majority of career women who really put their career first, because if it wasn't the case, they would have been settled, right? If they don't put their career first, they would have had a family already. So the single career women, they put their career first. So we can call those alpha females.
So the advice is, before a career woman settles, she should be able to psych herself that where I'm going.
Career man, do they even ever settle? It's like a career man. I mean, career men, men don't have an idea of settling. The only part of settling is marrying, the day of marriage. Yeah, once we marry, they know that all the other intricacies in the marriage depends on the woman. And they can still have even enough more time to pursue their dreams, achieve what they want to achieve. So we have more women supporting alpha men than men supporting alpha women.
And that's basically how it should be, because if we look at the Bible, like that's how we were created.
That's how
women
the
are the
patriarchy system
pillar
was set, yes.
and men are the head.
Yes.
So, but it doesn't mean that women can be boss ladies or can be like an entrepreneur. Because even if we look at Ruth in the Bible, like that's like the typical perfect woman that people describe, right? But she was a hustler as well. Like she goes out to the city, she creates things, she's an entrepreneur, she tries to support her family in terms of, you know, like fixing clothes or preparing the food. But, you know, she still knows how to be soft and submissive. And you know, I wouldn't call her an alpha female. I would call her, you know, like the ideal woman.
I think it is, we the observers are their problem. We the ones who label them so. Because yes, to them, they are like the average person. That is the kind of picture people paint, especially feminists. The also I'm saying some feminists.
Most of them are feminists. Most of those.
No. You wait. That is the kind of symbol they give us to show of a strong woman, even though that particular object that is called strong woman doesn't see herself the way other women are trying to paint her to the other younger children. Like, look at this woman. She is this, and she, because of this, that she is this. Won't worry, for all you know, she's been dying for a man all her life. For all
So
you
why
know,
can't they submit? I mean,
it is their nature. It's everybody and the way they were created.
It's not in a woman's nature
to be
alpha. It's not in our nature. Our nature is to be soft and submissive.
But there are some women, they are alpha not because they intentionally wanted to be alpha. They are alpha because they are alpha. They are created that way.
You're responsible for your actions.
I
And
understand.
if you are too alpha, obviously it's going to prevent you from settling. So if you want to settle as an alpha woman and you can't find a man to settle, it obviously means you have to do inner work and you have to work on those feminine traits.
Sorry, there was a discussion a few days ago about this topic.
Yeah.
I mean, where I was discussing this issue with two women who are all single, and it looks like they have common characters.
Yes.
You know,
Some
it's like
similarities with them.
yeah, it's like in my home I want to do this.
If this one is there, nobody should touch it.
Yeah,
Touch
in
it,
my
you ask man
house.
permission.
Controlling.
Yeah,
And-
I mean,
and
how can you live with?
A lot of women don't know how to do self-reflection and even admit when they're wrong. And I think that's a typical alpha female characteristic. They don't know how to say, oh, I did this wrong, I'm sorry. They like to be in control, and they have a hard time giving control out of hands.
I don't know where these are coming from, but we can all point to some women. Let's leave to the others to categorize them as alpha or not, who have been very successful in their fields and they are still good wives. I mean, we have not heard said typically there's no tabloid news or viral or whatever about them.
Those of them, the men made them, maybe.
But I'm making my point. My point is this: they were alpha. You can't make anybody alpha. They have to have some traits. Their husbands or their partners created the enabling environment for them to be alpha.
Not alpha, but to be financially sound.
Invest in the woman, basically. Invest in the woman.
Okay.
Like I was saying, also you can somebody and
yes, some men also raise up women. They become so rich, even richer than their husbands, and they are still submissive.
But,
they are still submissive.
But generally speaking, for a man to be in his divine masculinity, he is the provider, right? And a lot of men don't know how to deal with women that are, you know, more financially stable than them.
That's true.
Most of the time, it doesn't work.
Because the time you need her to do something for you.
I'm sure there are some exceptions. I'm sure there are some exceptions, but normally it doesn't work.
Because here's the case: the man thinks that he has money. Not think the man has money.
Yeah,
he can take care of you, can take care of the family well.
Yeah.
So fine, you're also doing business. Can't you adjust your schedule to pay attention to the kids?
That's a must for a woman.
Yeah, because a woman has to take care. Because the man is hustling.
Yeah.
The woman is hustling.
Yeah.
And nanny is taking care of your children.
That's bad.
somebody is taking care of your children.
Yeah.
And when you are at your retirement age,
Yeah.
you want your kids to
be
love
flung
you.
around you.
Yes.
No, they won't come.
Yeah.
You're a stranger to them. That is a perfect yes for me.
That is the problem.
Nobody has to do that.
Because
Yeah.
you were providing money
Yeah.
when they needed it.
No.
You didn't show love.
Yeah.
You didn't show your presence.
Presence, thank you.
Now that you are old
Huh.
and you think you have made more money, so your children should be around you.
Whoever
yeah,
is old
yeah,
is
yeah.
smelly. Now you are smelling. I find I'm glad daddy. No, they won't come because when they are younger, they are also messier. You could not be around to smell the mess. And now that they are super clean and you are super weak, you want them to come and sit around you. There are so many old people in the village who are waiting for their children to come. They won't come today. They will come tomorrow. Because when they needed you, you never came. I know so many good footballers whose parents never even came to the park to watch them play. Meanwhile, they were school captain. There were some good people who could recite poetry, who could do what do you know and cultural performances. Everybody will come. Their parents will never be there. And today, an ordinary could do which there. Also, you are into Amra. Some dollars now here. So that connection with children, that is why you see. I didn't want to re-entrench the divine masculinity, divine femininity, and all that, but it's a fact. It's there. There are certain things that are.
It's how we were created, how
That-
God
thank
made
you.
us.
That's
Certain
how
things
we're
you
made.
can't change.
You
Yeah.
can change. A woman must be closer to the children. If a man sees, I'm providing, you're providing. In fact, as we speak, we can still feed our children for the
But
next
there's
2
some
years.
men, when they start providing, they treat the women like
Caged animals.
not
When they
animals.
stop,
but
when they stop providing. Is
No,
that what-
it's
when they
like-
stop
it's
start or
like
stop.
you are home.
Yeah.
You're not working.
Yeah.
I give you fuel. I give you pocket money. If something happens, the comment that will come from a man
Yeah.
will let the woman regret staying at home.
Yeah, which is wrong.
Ah, my you win and auntie and we went to me and then there was some person is saying.
It's like
And
I
it's not
provide
her.
everything. You are here.
It's-
This place
yeah,
is
yeah,
dirty. You can't clean.
but that's wrong.
That's why most
Yeah.
women are now
Wrong.
like, okay, then I'll work.
Yeah.
So they can use
And
those
purpose
words
them, yeah.
against me. Your side of the world, what does a woman look for? Compared to outside, it's different. Our people will say, I want tall, big eyes,
Yeah.
this, muscular,
Yeah.
has money, take care of me.
Hair,
hair.
Chair.
Where are you from?
Chest hair.
Where do you guys? Like, so that
Is
they
that a
can play with it.
requirement? Is that a
I
requirement?
tell you, some people, somebody saw my chest, I know her. And then she went.
Okay, so where you are from, what do you guys normally look at? Not personalized, but in general.
Well, obviously everyone has their spec, but I think it's a little bit different in Europe. Well, everyone has a type, of course. But I think in Europe, they're looking... Okay, so let me put it that way.
Personalize it to be easier.
No, we're speaking about where I'm from, because I'm different, you know, like I come from an
Personalize it.
Italian, no, I can't, because I come from an Italian home.
mix.
It's different. So I think in Europe, here people are more looking to get married. In Europe, people are you know, like
That's a
they
fact.
don't really
Yeah.
look for relationships to get married. They're
Yeah.
not very intentional with their relationships. So the things they're looking for are different.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they're just like, oh, you know, I like this girl, I like this guy, like, oh, we're having fun, you know, we connect. Fine, let's start a relationship. I think people here are more intentional when it comes to, like, they want to get married.
Something well.
Yes, they want to get married. So in that aspect, I think it's different. But I don't think it's right, because you know, at the end of the day, like, we're all human, we want to be loved. We look for love. We look for relationships. We look for marriage, ideally. And I think in the West, the narrative that's being pushed is like, oh, you know, we have all the time, like, you can do whatever you want. Especially for women, you know, the feminism is very strong.
Yeah.
On our side of
Yeah,
the world,
that's
and
a
I
fact.
think it's messing up
And are they enjoying
relationships.
the feminism, the alpha? Are they enjoying it?
Well, yes and no. I think so. The narrative is being pushed of, you know, you should be independent, and like feminist type of narrative is being pushed, and women, like, we grow up thinking like, oh, this is cool, you know, like, we're emancipated, we're independent. But like I said, it goes against how we are made. And that's why you see so many people are single, women who are like in their mid-30s, or, you know, older, single,
Dating
depressed.
dogs.
Yeah.
Yes, suppressed, like with 10 cats and 10 dogs. And
Take
I
pet
think
as a husband.
exactly, like they've tried to fill up the void with animals and pets, and I think
And
it's
machines
because,
these days.
yeah.
How can you meet a woman with a dog attached to her like you? It's like her world.
Yeah, she,
Then
you
it's
can't,
like
you
a
can't
man.
separate the two.
And
yeah.
she would
And you
even
want a
treat the
man,
dog better than
like a
the
visitor.
boyfriend,
Yeah.
because I actually know a couple that broke up because the girl prioritized the dog over the boyfriend. And I was like, is this woman mad?
No, she's not.
Seriously.
Then I visit you, then I see your dog.
And the boyfriend was like,
behind you
listen,
and
it's me
pampering
or
the
the
dog.
dog. It's me or the dog. And she still kept the dog. And I'm
Yeah.
like, ah. And now you're texting and calling the guy
Yeah.
So
that
for me
you
to
miss
place
him.
me
Talk
here,
to
you
the
place a
dog.
dog here. Then I'll be sitting here. I mean, what kind of...
Exactly. So I'm like, the priorities are all messed up.
It's a system. Okay, part one of this topic. Part two
No,
is...
but the opposite is also happening here, Hammer,
Which one
before
of
you
the-
close on this. That is why we are also having... Our side is not free of repercussions for creating the impression that every relationship that especially a girl enters to must end in marriage. That is why we have so many dysfunctional marriages also down here. That's why
What's the sense of
the
relationship?
pressure.
What's the
I
sense
think
of relationship?
I
it
think-
must not be marriage at all times.
Okay, so that will be another topic.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Essence of relationship. Thanks so much for joining me, the Latte and Charlie. So, part one of this topic. Part two will be after all these alpha career women. Can those women decide when to get married? Can they determine when? How? Dates?
I
I
like
have a
it.
whole lot to say.
I like your the way you say is everything, man.
Okay, so we'll continue.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Enjoy time with Hammer.